Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. All right, guys. So I'm one of those people who I have said over and over again, which I don't feel that I need to, but I just do just because it's something that I feel is something I want people to know, because when I convey my messages about what I want to talk about, I'm not coming from the standpoint of being a stan for anybody. There may be people I admire and respect, and there may be people that I really can't stand, and it's because of the things that they have done, not just because of superficial things like I don't like the way their face looks, I don't like their eyebrows, I don't like their hair, like superficial things. I can't stand Hotel, Martel, Arion's baby wipe Holt because of his own actions. Nothing that Melody has done or said in terms of people trying to make it seem like she's got this smear campaign out here against him because she wants people to not like him. And two, I am not a mellometer. I don't label myself as anything. I'm not in the beehive. I'm not a monster. I'm not, like all of these different things that a lot of these artists and celebrities or people who just come up with these names for themselves and say, we are the such and such, because they choose to call themselves that. So they want people to know that, look, I'm team whoever. That's just not something that I've ever done. So it has nothing to do with the individuals. I highly admire and respect Beyonce's work ethic and all of that stuff. She's my Virgo sister. I highly relate with her on a lot of levels when it comes to work and how much we put into it, and sometimes to a fault, to the perfection. I just don't have the money and the assistance that she has to make my life as great as she has been able to. But I'm definitely not in the beehive. I like some of her music, some of it I don't. I'm not here windmilling in comment sections if somebody says something about her that I may not agree with, or I may agree with, whatever. I'm just not one of those people. But I'm not a mellometer. So I've said that over and over again. And like I said, I'm not saying it because I need to prove anything to anybody. It's just something that I choose to say because I feel that it is important. If anyone's going to listen to what I have to share, they know that I'm coming from a standpoint of not being just team Mel or a mellometer. And I don't want anyone to say anything about her that isn't something I agree with, or I'm going to go off on them. And I'm not even saying that all mellometers do that either. But what I will say is, I don't believe that Melody should be held responsible for the actions that some people choose to take who call themselves mellometers, who are in her fan club, and they may do some things that may cause people to be turned off or not want to watch the show or not support the things that she has as business endeavors or anything like that, or not even like her, period. So I'm saying all of these things right now to say, the other thing that I don't really care to say is big YouTubers and little YouTubers, because we're all people. None of us are better than anyone. Some of us may have larger platforms in terms of the number of subscribers and views and watch hours and all of that stuff than others. Cool, fine. It is what it is. But that doesn't make anyone better than another person. And honestly, with that being said, even if they may not be better than someone that doesn't have as many subscribers or view hours than someone that may have 500,000 or 1 million subscribers, and they're not better than someone who may have 5,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers, and they're not even monetized, but they choose to spend their time talking about the things that they want to talk about. When you do have a larger platform, I do believe that you do have more of a responsibility to be careful about the things that you say and share. And so I want to compare to content creators on YouTube who have very large platforms. They have a large number of subscribers. One is a female coming from the standpoint of she's now a Martell meter and she doesn't like Mel and all of these different things. And now she's on this, I feel like, a campaign to try to prove her point as to why she doesn't like her and why she is wrong, meaning Melody. And then you have another, and that person, I'll say her name is Sharrellsworld. I know because I have been subscribed to her for years, but I don't watch everything that she does. And I don't watch everything that she says. There's a lot of times that she may do content about things that I don't really care to listen to. And then there may have been times when she has done content about things that I may not agree with how she feels about a person or how she feels about a subject, but it's her opinion. And it's like, okay, as long as it's not hurting anyone, I don't really care. And then there's another content creator that I'm subscribed to who has a very large following as well, is Kempire. So I listened to both of them give commentary about the subject of Martel and the family court situation and him putting, corporal punishment. Oh my God. And just another things on the children and just how he has been behaving, how he hasn't been complying, and listening to two of these people, which both of them should be unbiased, especially having a larger platform like they do. Kempire was extremely unbiased. And even he was like, I believe these things that are in this court document. I believe all of these things that Martel has been alleged to have been doing or not doing and not complying with. And then you have the other person, on the other hand, Sharrellsworld, who's reading some previous court documents to try to put Melody in the light of not being the one who is in the best interest of the children, and trying to make it seem like Melody is just doing everything she can to keep Martel from being a father to his children. And that has been far from the case. And when she was saying the things that she was saying, because I watched out of curiosity when I saw that she was going live late last night, I just decided to listen in for a little bit, and then I watched some more of it earlier this morning. And when I tell you, it was just like, wow, you're really going there? You're really doing this? I was flabbergasted. And then other people getting up on the panel, and then people in the comments section. But I'm going to tell you, I was watching the live, the chat. And just out of curiosity, when I would see comments pop up, and it wasn't the comments, even if they were somewhat in support of Melody, but they were not disparaging against Sharrell or anyone else on her platform for that matter, those comments were removed. Someone asked a question, why are you reading an older court document? They just asked the question. They weren't like, bitch, why are you, like nothing disrespectful. They didn't say, oh, you're just a Melody hater. It wasn't comments like that I was seeing being removed. It was asking legitimate questions. It was asking questions about the current court documents. Why are you not reading those? It was asking questions about, do you not know that Martel did not comply and he stopped going to court-ordered therapy? Removed. So many comments were removed. The only comments that were kept up in the chat were comments that were pro her or pro Martel or bashing Melody. And I said, wow, like this is, you might as well not even have the chat feature on. Just leave the chat feature off and just say whatever you want to say and then close the comment section. But to remove those comments where people were literally just asking legitimate questions, and it wasn't, oh, you're just a Melody hater, or you're just this, or you're just that. It was people that was just like, wow, why do you sound so angry? And just things like that. Removing all of the comments that were just asking legitimate questions. I really was shocked by that. So When I listened to Kempire's commentary, it was again extremely unbiased, extremely just to the point, matter of fact, and reading current court documents, not things from the past. And also the other thing that people need, like Sharrellsworld and people like her, I just believe that people like them, they're just going to be hell-bent on seeing things the way that they want to see it. And it only is favorable because what they're looking at is something that they feel puts Melody in a bad light. So you're not going to see the court system as not only possibly corrupt, but just doing their best to either try to be unbiased, which a lot of times they wind up being biased, but trying to be unbiased and trying to do what's in the best interest of the children, and not being so quick to remove a child's joint custody situation with both parents if the parents are divorced, or doing their best to not take away the rights of visitation for one parent to see their child or their children. They're not honestly the best equipped. I was a legal assistant years ago for 12 years. And even though I didn't personally do family law, I have worked in law firms where family law was practiced. And I recall so many situations where clients were calling the law firms or even just showing up crying because of a court order that was set in place that was not going to be favorable for their children. It wasn't about them personally. And so for Sharrellsworld and people like her to make the situation into, this is just Melody being petty, this is just Melody not wanting Martell to be a father to his children. What man do you know that really wants to be a father to their children and actually has an EP credit on a reality television show? So I'm assuming he gets money for being an EP as well as being a cast member on the show. And he has to ask the mother of the children, when he has the children in his care, to send them over something to eat. Like, really? And she does it. She actually does it. She actually is sending Uber Eats or, whatever grocery orders over to the house so that the children will have food to eat. Like, that's insane. And so this is the same person, him, who wanted to be vindictive because he was not going to get a cut of the share or a share of the child's hair care product sales. So then he wanted to say, well, if I can't have any of the money, then I don't want the children to be on TV and on social media anymore. He did that to hurt not only Melody, but to hurt the children because it was something that they had fun with and enjoyed as well. When they were on the show, you didn't see a whole lot of them, and you definitely saw her being a mother to the children. I remember the scene seasons ago when she had the children to see the therapist, and they were just being honest and sharing their thoughts. And, the son saying, I'm just ready to not see my mom cry anymore. Like, that was just him speaking from his heart. That did not come across as a child being coerced or coaxed to say something that was going to make that parent look favorable or to give that parent sympathy or to make people feel sorry for her. Not in the slightest. And so with the actions of Martell, Hotel, Arion's baby wife on the show, seeing him go off, everything has been about Melody. Him either trying to make her look bad or him trying to get back with her. We have seen her make attempts to try to co-parent. And she invited him on the trip that she scheduled and planned to take her children and her mom on. And she invited him and his boozing mama, all expenses paid. Does that seem like someone who wasn't wanting to co-parent when she tried to have a conversation with him about, look, we can possibly do things like this in the future if you're in a relationship with someone and I'm in a relationship with someone and we can all be civil and it's for the sake of the children. He wasn't trying to hear it. He wanted to be back with her, and he never wanted to be back with her because it was about love. It was about missing the control and all of the different things that he had access to by being in that relationship with her. And it just angers me when I sit and consider all of the stuff that she has gone through with this narcissistic psychopath, in my personal opinion. I will continue to label him as such. I just don't understand how anyone could be on his side and try to bash Melody. Again, you don't have to like her. You do not have to be a millimeter. You do not have to buy her products. You don't have to support all of her ventures and projects or anything like that. You don't even have to watch the show. But to think that anyone, especially a woman, could be on his side and not put yourself in her shoes. Because I also heard her say some things too about, the only people that like Melody or the millimeters, they're a bunch of old, lonely women who've been in bad relationships and things like that. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not a millimeter, but I'm someone that has wisdom and common sense. I haven't been in a relationship like hers ever. I have been married for 25 years. I'm married to the man that I met in high school. We're still married. To me, this stuff seems unimaginable. Unfortunately, there have been women who have gone through relationships with men like him, so they can relate on some levels. But you don't have to have been in a terrible relationship like she has been to just relate with her as a woman, or to just have a heart to say, I can't even understand how she made it as long as she did with this dude. Because this is just what we have been privy to. I've said all along that I felt like he was physically aggressive, I'll just say it like that, with her on a multitude of occasions. But not every woman is going to say that stuff. And I'm going to talk about that in a separate conversation. But I just really was so disgusted by hearing all of these people just being team him. And for anyone to take what they are going through, meaning the children, and Melody using the children as tools or as weapons against him, they clearly don't know what really has been going on. And I honestly am a bit speechless. I saw another content creator talk about this too, who has a larger platform as well. I've been subscribed to him for a while now, DJ Richie Sky, and even he got a bit silent. This is really a lot, and it really is. I don't understand. But again, like I said, when I saw the content creator who is Martellometer now talking about this, the court document that this person was reading, it wasn't the most recent one. Most people who have been following the story knows that there was an order issued where it said something in there about the father's trying, something along the lines of the father's trying to do what's in the best interest of the children, but they can't say the same about the mom, something to that effect. And just because a court document said that doesn't mean that it's true. Do you know how many corrupt and crooked judges there are? Look at the Supreme Court of the United States. They took away women's right to choose that has been on the law books for over 50 years. And they're probably about to let the former president get a free pass to have the right to literally take people out, take their lives if he wants to, and not be held criminally liable, because that's going on right now in the Supreme Court, where he has this before them saying that a president should have immunity from being prosecuted, which is absolutely ridiculous because you're a person. It doesn't mean that you should have the right to be able to do and say whatever you want to do and not be held responsible. But because the Supreme Court is weighing in favor of him, they're more likely than not to rule in his favor. That is corrupt. So if the Supreme Court of the United States has crooked and corrupt judges, do you not think that a little old family court in Huntsville, Alabama, is not going to have any corruptness or crookedness within it? But no, this person's like, the court says this, the judge says this. If the judge said that he should be able to be with the kids, then you should have to sue the judge. Seriously? Like, you don't even make sense saying something like that. It doesn't work that way. Do you know how many judges have ruled in so many cases, even in criminal matters, where they will let one person get off scot-free or give them a slap on the wrist, and then the person that doesn't look like them, that may have had a similar situation or less, they be held more responsible in terms of the punishment that they receive. It's not fair. The justice system is corrupt. Period. And when it comes to the family court situations, it's a lot of broken areas within the family court system, as well as the Department of Family Services or Child Protective Services, or whatever the acronyms are for every different state, because it's different in every single state in the country. There's so much brokenness there. So for anyone to sit and think that that little portion in there that was written up in a court order, which actually isn't the most recent one, that made reference to the father having the best interests of the children, do you know what they even really meant by that? It could have just, they read it as him seeking full custody in their eyes means, oh, he must really be wanting to make sure that his children are okay, because how many men do you know are going to seek full custody of their children? And then they look at Melody changing her phone number, not giving her phone number to him, saying you can only correspond with me via email. I don't want to speak to you over the phone, because of her putting those parameters and those barriers in place to try to protect her mental and her peace and her sanity. They look at that as, oh, her not really wanting to make sure that what is done for the children is in the best interest of them, because she's not making it easy for him to be able to reach her because he doesn't have her phone number. All it takes is one little thing like that for them to write something like that in a court order. But a lot of people don't understand that. They're going to read that as her being neglectful or irresponsible, or her keeping the children from him. And that is far from the case. You know what I mean? And so it's not fair in a lot of those circumstances and situations. But if you are hell-bent on trying to make sure that what your opinion is of a person is the one that is really put out there, you're not going to look at all of those factors to say, well, you know what, maybe they didn't really mean it like that, but okay. No, you're just going to look at her as this terrible person who's out here complying with bloggers. And listen, I'm not here to say that she may not have bloggers that she is more closely connected to, or she's following on social media, or subscribed to their YouTube channel, and maybe has even done interviews with them as well. But that doesn't mean that she's putting a battery in the back of these people to make them do and say things that is in her best interest, or to make her look the best. Honestly, I feel like those people, they make those actions, choices, and decisions on their own. They don't have to. But I will say this, there may be some people that, because they have felt like they got closer to Melody because she's either following them on social media, or she may have DM, back and forth from time to time or whatever, that they do feel more of a loyalty to her, and it may push them to do more content that is more favorable to Melody. That indeed could be true, but it doesn't mean that she's making them do that, or she's saying, if you do this, then I'll do that. That is something that I don't believe happens. But the reason that Sharrell's World feels that way is because she's talked about it before when it came to Candy, who used to be on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She says that Candy had her favorites. She had her bloggers, and those people, they always had positive things to say about Candy, but they know that Candy has done some terrible things, and so they don't like Candy, and they don't, and listen. So now she feels that pretty much that same way about Melody. And it's just, I know sometimes the beef and whatever, it draws in the views and the numbers and things like that, but I don't even think that that's necessary, especially when you are to a point where you have a much larger subscriber base. It doesn't mean that you're better than anyone. Trust and believe, because she's not. And I'm not even trying to be nasty or rude when I say that, but honestly, she's not. I don't care how much money she's making per month on Google or whatever else that she might be doing. It doesn't make her better than anyone else. Someone could have 40 subscribers on her YouTube channel and be a whole lot more professional and more knowledgeable and have more wisdom than she does. It doesn't mean that she's better than anyone because she has 500,000 subscribers and she makes a whole lot of money on YouTube and she's, whatever. But when you know better, you do better. And I just feel that it's irresponsible to be of a certain number, I should say, of subscribers, of followers, have a larger platform. It doesn't mean that she's larger in terms of the persona. When they say you have a big platform, you're bigger, it doesn't mean that you're better. Bigger doesn't mean better. But what I'm saying is, I feel that you have more of a duty and a responsibility to be more professional and more knowledgeable, but because she's seen things in a different way and she feels that Melody and her mellometers and whoever else is out to get her or whatever the case is maybe, because I don't know all of it. I just feel that there's a way to handle things. And when I listen to someone like Kempire, who has a larger platform as well, he's pretty much just staying neutral and unbiased. And I feel that speaks to the character of the individuals. I'm not saying that you can't be messy and laugh and stuff like that. I like to get messy and laugh and stuff like that too. Like it's entertaining, but to a certain degree. And I feel that she may be crossing the line with a lot of things when it comes to this, because ultimately in the end, the truth is going to speak. My mama had or maybe my grandmama, I don't remember who, probably my grandmama, and then my mama started saying it later, had an old saying. Lies will take the fast lane, while truth will take the scenic route. You'll all eventually get to where you're going, but the lies, they're quick. And a lot of times people, they enjoy the lies. It's entertaining, especially if you don't like someone. Yeah, I believe that. I believe it. It's disheartening. But when people open their mouths, you really see a whole lot. You see more than the teeth and the gums and the the white covered tongue and whatever else might be in somebody's mouth, right? A lot becomes, revealed. And I just feel in this situation, seeing two different content creators, both of them having very large platforms, I just feel that is just really irresponsible. I even know with Tasha K, because I know a lot of people wanted to give her flack for giving him the opportunity to sit down and speak. Like I said, she was trying to give him the opportunity to make it into an actual interview, but all he did was spew vitriol and hate and disdain for his ex-wife and the mother of his, what he loved to say, 4 beautiful children. But even Tasha K has said on her platform, especially because I've listened to it on her app, She said Martell is such a effing liar. Those are the words that came out of her mouth. She knows what's real, but she did what she did for the views. I ain't hating on her for that. And she tried to make it into, okay, tell me some things about Melody that you really loved, or, you know, tell me what attracted you to her. I ain't here to say nothing good about her. Like, that was him. That was him. That was him spewing the hate. Tasha K wasn't sitting there trashing her. Yeah, she said that she don't care for Melody's music and she can't sing, but that's a personal opinion. I don't think Melody cannot sing, but I'm just not into her music. But honestly, for me, that's not a hard thing because I'm not into a lot of people's music. I'm very particular when it comes to the music that I listen to. And I listen to more podcasts and educational things or whatever than I do than a bunch of music also. So that's just me. I'm different. But with all of those things being said, even she has a very large platform, but she's not out here trashing people like this. She's just talking about different stories, sharing her views, you know, and then letting it go. But she's not doing 1 and 2 hour, 1 and 2 hour lives talking about like one person. It's crazy. It's just very weird and strange to me. But I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. I went a little bit longer than I expected to go with this, guys. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.